Specimen D Wooden Peg. Question 1. Functionality. Explain the primary function of a wooden peg in agricultural fieldwork. Answer. A wooden peg is primarily used as a sturdy stake for various purposes in agriculture, such as marking boundaries, securing fencing, anchoring nets, or providing support for plants and structures. Question 2. Material selection. Discuss why wood is commonly used for making pegs in agricultural applications. Answer. Wood is preferred for making pegs due to its availability, affordability, durability, and ease of handling. It can withstand outdoor conditions and can be easily driven into the ground or hammered without splintering. Question 3. Peg placement. Describe proper techniques for placing wooden pegs to mark boundaries or establish reference points in agricultural fields. Answer. Wooden pegs should be driven into the ground vertically at designated locations, ensuring they are secure and stable. They should be placed at regular intervals along boundaries or grid lines to facilitate accurate measurements and layout. Question 4. Support structure. Explain how wooden pegs can be used to provide support for plants or structures in agricultural settings. Answer. Wooden pegs can be driven into the ground next to plants or structures and used to tie or attach support materials such as stakes, strings, or trellises to provide stability and prevent damage from wind or pests. Question 5. Measurement aid. Discuss how wooden pegs can be used as a measurement aid in agricultural fieldwork. Answer. Wooden pegs can be used to mark reference points or intervals along rows, furrows, or boundaries, allowing for consistent spacing, alignment, and measurement of distances or areas. Question 6. Maintenance practices. Explain maintenance practices to ensure the longevity and effectiveness of wooden pegs in agricultural applications. Answer. Maintenance practices may include inspecting pegs for signs of damage or wear, replacing worn or damaged pegs as needed, and storing them properly in a dry, protected environment when not in use to prevent deterioration. Question 7. Environmental considerations. Discuss environmental considerations when using wooden pegs in agricultural practices. Answer. Wooden pegs should be sourced from sustainable forestry practices to minimize environmental impact. After use, wooden pegs can be recycled or disposed of properly to prevent soil contamination or habitat disruption. Specimen H maize weevil. Question 1. Identification. Provide a specimen of a maize weevil and ask students to identify its key features. Answer. The maize weevil Cytophilus zemus is a small, reddish-brown beetle with a distinct elongated snout, prominent antennae, and hardened wing covers. It is commonly found infesting maize kernels and other stored grains. Question 2. Life cycle. Describe the life cycle of the maize weevil, including its stages and duration. Answer. The life cycle of the maize weevil includes 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Eggs are laid inside maize kernels, where larvae hatch and feed, eventually pupating before emerging as adults. The entire life cycle can take around 30 to 40 days under favorable conditions. Question 3. Damage assessment. Provide maize kernels infested with maize weevil and ask students to assess the extent of damage and suggest control measures. Answered. Students should observe the presence of small, round exit holes in the kernels, as well as the presence of larvae or adults inside. Control measures may include proper storage hygiene, using hermetic storage containers, fumigation, or insecticidal treatments. Question 4. Prevention strategies. Discuss preventive measures to minimize maize weevil infestation in stored grains. Answered. Prevention strategies may include proper cleaning and drying of maize before storage, using hermetic storage containers to reduce oxygen levels and inhibit insect development, and implementing regular monitoring and rotation of stored grains. Question 5. Monitoring techniques. Demonstrate how to set up monitoring traps for maize weevils in storage facilities. Answer. Monitoring traps can be set up using pheromone lures or sticky traps placed strategically in storage areas. These traps can help detect and monitor maize weevil populations, aiding in timely intervention measures. Question 6. Integrated Pest Management (IPM). Explain how integrated pest management principles can be applied to control maize weevils. Answer. Integrated pest management approaches combine various control methods such as cultural practices, biological control agents, physical barriers, and chemical treatments in a coordinated manner to manage maize weevil populations effectively while minimizing environmental impact. Question 7. Risk assessment. Discuss the economic and nutritional impact of maize weevil infestation on stored grain stocks. Answer. Maize weevil infestation can result in significant economic losses due to grain damage and reduced market value. Additionally, infested grains may pose health risks if consumed, as they can harbor fungal toxins and contaminants produced by the weevils. Specimen J Grasshopper. Question 1. Ecological role. Describe the ecological role of grasshoppers in agricultural ecosystems. Answer. Grasshoppers play a dual role in agricultural ecosystems. While they can be pests, feeding on crops and causing damage, they also serve as food for various predators, contributing to ecosystem balance. Question 2. Life cycle. Explain the life cycle of a grasshopper, including its stages and duration. Answer. The life cycle of a grasshopper includes 3 main stages: egg, nymph, and adult. Eggs are typically laid in soil during the fall or early spring, where they overwinter until hatching in the spring. Nymphs undergo several molts before reaching adulthood, which can take several weeks to months depending on environmental conditions. Question 3. Feeding behavior. Discuss the feeding habits of grasshoppers and the types of crops they commonly feed on. Answer. Grasshoppers are herbivorous insects that feed on a wide range of plants, including grasses, cereals, legumes, and vegetables. They consume foliage, stems, and seedlings, often causing significant damage to crops during outbreaks. Question 4. Damage assessment. Describe the damage caused by grasshoppers to agricultural crops and potential economic implications for farmers. Answer. Grasshoppers can cause extensive damage to crops by consuming foliage and tender plant parts, resulting in reduced yields, poor crop quality, and economic losses for farmers. Question 5. Prevention strategies. Outline preventive measures that farmers can take to minimize grasshopper infestations in agricultural fields. Answered. Prevention strategies may include crop rotation, planting resistant varieties, implementing cultural practices such as tillage and weed management, and using physical barriers or repellents to deter grasshoppers from feeding on crops. Question 6. Control methods. Discuss various control methods for managing grasshopper populations in agricultural settings. Answer. Control methods may include biological control, using natural enemies such as parasitoids, predators, or pathogens, cultural control through habitat manipulation and vegetation management, and chemical control using insecticides as a last resort. Question 7. Monitoring techniques. Describe how farmers can monitor grasshopper populations in agricultural fields to assess infestation levels and make informed management decisions. Answered. Farmers can visually inspect crops for signs of grasshopper feeding damage, such as chewed leaves or defoliation, and use sweep nets or sticky traps to sample grasshopper populations. Monitoring should be conducted regularly to detect outbreaks early and implement control measures as needed. Specimen K cotton stainer. Question 1. Identification. Describe the key characteristics of a cotton stainer and how it can be identified in agricultural settings. Answer. A cotton stainer, scientifically known as Disterchus pp, is a small insect with a reddish-brown or black body and distinctive markings on its wings. It can be identified by its elongated body shape and piercing sucking mouthparts. Question 2. Life cycle. Explain the life cycle of a cotton stainer, including its stages and duration. Answer. The life cycle of a cotton stainer includes 4 stages: egg, nymph, pupa, and adult. Eggs are typically laid on cotton bolls or plant debris, where nymphs hatch and undergo several molts before reaching adulthood. The entire life cycle can take several weeks to months depending on environmental conditions. Question 3. Feeding behavior. Discuss the feeding habits of cotton stainers and the types of crops they commonly feed on. Answer. Cotton stainers are piercing sucking insects that feed on the sap of developing cotton bolls. They use their piercing mouthparts to penetrate the cotton boll and extract nutrients, leaving behind characteristic stains or spots on the cotton fibers. Question 4. Damage assessment. Describe the damage caused by cotton stainers to cotton crops and potential economic implications for farmers. Answered. Cotton stainers can cause significant damage to cotton crops by feeding on developing bolls, resulting in stained or discolored lint and reduced fiber quality. Severe infestations can lead to yield losses and economic hardship for cotton farmers. Question 5. Prevention strategies. Outline preventive measures that farmers can take to minimize cotton stainer infestations in cotton fields. Answered prevention strategies may include implementing cultural practices such as timely planting and weed management to reduce overwintering sites for cotton stainers, monitoring for early signs of infestation, and using chemical control methods as needed. Question 6. Control methods. Discuss various control methods for managing cotton stainer populations in cotton fields. Answer control methods may include biological control, using natural enemies such as predators or parasitoids, cultural control through sanitation and crop rotation practices, and chemical control using insecticides targeted at nymphs or adults. Question 7. Monitoring techniques. Describe how farmers can monitor cotton stainer populations in cotton fields to assess infestation levels and make informed management decisions. Answered farmers can visually inspect cotton plants for signs of cotton stainer feeding damage, such as stained or discolored bolls, and use pheromone traps or sticky traps to monitor adult populations. Monitoring should be conducted regularly throughout the growing season to detect infestations early and implement control measures as needed. Specimen L Tilapia fish. Question 1. Life cycle. Explain the life cycle of a tilapia fish, including its stages and duration. Answer. The life cycle of a tilapia fish begins with spawning, where mature fish release eggs and sperm into the water. Fertilized eggs hatch into larvae, which then develop into fingerlings. Fingerlings grow into juvenile fish and eventually reach maturity, ready for reproduction. The entire life cycle can take several months to a few years, depending on environmental conditions and species. Question 2. Habitat requirements. Describe the habitat requirements of tilapia fish and how they influence their growth and development. Answer. Tilapia fish are freshwater species that thrive in warm, tropical or subtropical environments. They prefer calm, shallow waters with abundant aquatic vegetation and adequate dissolved oxygen levels. Proper habitat conditions are essential for tilapia growth, reproduction, and overall health. Question 3. Feeding behavior. Discuss the feeding habits of tilapia fish and the types of diets they consume. Answer. Tilapia fish are omnivorous, feeding on a variety of plant and animal matter. They consume algae, aquatic plants, small invertebrates, and occasionally detritus or organic debris. Tilapia can be cultured on formulated feeds containing grains, protein sources, vitamins, and minerals to optimize growth and health. Question 4. Reproduction. Explain the reproductive behavior of tilapia fish and factors that influence their spawning success. Answer. Tilapia fish are prolific breeders, capable of reproducing multiple times throughout the year under favorable conditions. Spawning typically occurs in response to changes in water temperature, photoperiod, and water quality. Adequate nutrition and suitable spawning substrates, such as nests or breeding sites, also play important roles in tilapia reproduction. Question 5. Disease management. Discuss common diseases and health issues that affect tilapia fish in aquaculture, systems and strategies for disease prevention and control. Answer. Common diseases in tilapia aquaculture include bacterial infections, parasitic infestations, and viral diseases. Disease prevention measures may include maintaining optimal water quality parameters, implementing biosecurity protocols, and practicing good husbandry techniques such as regular health monitoring and vaccination. Question 6. Growth rate. Describe factors that influence the growth rate of tilapia fish in aquaculture, systems and methods for optimizing growth performance. Answered. Growth rate in tilapia fish is influenced by genetics, environmental conditions, nutrition, stocking density, and management practices. Providing balanced diets, maintaining suitable water temperature and quality, and minimizing stressors can help optimize growth, performance, and maximize production efficiency. Specimen M Hay. Question 1. Definition and composition. Define hay and describe its composition, including the types of plants commonly used for making hay. Answer. Hay is dried grass or other herbaceous plants used as fodder for livestock. It typically consists of grasses such as timothy, alfalfa, Bermuda grass, or legumes like clover or alfalfa. Question 2. Harvesting techniques. Explain the process of harvesting hay, including when and how it is cut, dried, and baled. Answer. Hay is typically harvested when the plants have reached their peak nutritional value, but before they have matured and set seed. It is cut using a mower or hay bine, left to dry in the field, and then baled using a baler for storage and transport. Question 3. Drying methods. Discuss different methods for drying hay and the factors that influence drying efficiency. Answer. Hay can be dried naturally in the field through sun curing or artificially using mechanical drying systems such as hay dryers. Factors that influence drying efficiency include weather conditions, humidity levels, and proper handling and conditioning of the hay windrow. Question 4. Storage practices. Describe best practices for storing hay to maintain its quality and nutritional value. Answer. Hay should be stored in a dry, well-ventilated area away from moisture, direct sunlight, and pests. It should be stacked on pallets or elevated off the ground to prevent moisture absorption and spoilage. Question 5. Quality assessment. Explain how to assess the quality of hay based on visual characteristics such as color, texture, and aroma. Answer. High-quality hay is typically green, leafy, and free from mold, dust, or foreign matter. It should have a fresh, sweet aroma and a soft, pliable texture. Inferior hay may appear yellow or brown, with coarse stems and a musty odor. Question 6. Feeding practices. Discuss feeding practices for livestock when using hay as a primary or supplemental feed source. Answer. Hay should be fed to livestock according to their nutritional requirements and feeding behavior. It can be provided free choice in bale form or as a component of a total mixed ration TMR to ensure balanced nutrition and optimal health. Question 7. Nutritional value. Explain the nutritional value of hay for livestock and how it contributes to their dietary needs. Answer. Hay is a valuable source of fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals for livestock. It provides essential nutrients for rumen function, digestive health, and overall performance, making it an important component of ruminant diets. Specimen and fish meal. Question 1. Definition and composition. Define fish meal and describe its composition, including the types of fish commonly used for making fish meal. Answer. Fish meal is a nutrient-rich feed ingredient made from processed fish or fish byproducts. It typically contains protein, fats, minerals, and vitamins. Fish species commonly used for making fish meal include anchovies, sardines, herring, and menhaden. Question 2. Processing methods. Explain the process of producing fish meal, including fish collection, cooking, pressing, drying, and grinding. Answer. Fish are collected from commercial fishing operations or fish processing plants and then cooked to coagulate proteins and remove moisture. The cooked fish are pressed to extract oil and water, then dried using heat or steam. The dried fish are ground into a fine powder to produce fish meal. Question 3. Nutritional value. Discuss the nutritional value of fish meal for livestock and aquaculture feeds, including its protein content and amino acid profile. Answer. Fish meal is highly valued for its high protein content, typically ranging from 60% to 72%, and balanced amino acid profile. It provides essential amino acids such as lysine, methionine, and tryptophan, making it a valuable source of protein for livestock and aquaculture diets. Question 4. Quality assessment. Explain how to assess the quality of fish meal based on visual characteristics such as color, odor, and texture. Answer. High-quality fish meal is typically light brown in color, with a fresh, fishy odor and a fine, powdery texture. It should be free from off odors, mold, or foreign matter. Inferior fish meal may appear darker in color and have a rancid or unpleasant odor. Question 5. Storage practices. Describe best practices for storing fish meal to maintain its quality and prevent spoilage. Answer. Fish meal should be stored in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area away from sunlight, moisture, and pests. It should be stored in sealed containers or bags to prevent contamination and spoilage. Question 6. Feeding recommendations. Discuss feeding recommendations for incorporating fish meal into livestock and aquaculture diets. Answer. Fish meal can be used as a protein supplement in livestock diets, typically fed at levels ranging from 5% to 20% of the total ration, depending on species and nutritional requirements. In aquaculture, fish meal is commonly used as a primary protein source in fish and shrimp feeds. Question 7. Economic importance. Explain the economic importance of fish meal production for the agriculture and aquaculture industries. Answer. Fish meal production plays a critical role in meeting the protein needs of livestock and aquaculture sectors worldwide. It provides a valuable source of essential nutrients for animal growth and performance, contributing to the efficiency and sustainability of food production systems.